Late at night, when the city slowly falls silent, the yellow streetlight reflects softly on the rain-soaked roads. During those hours, some spirits are no longer inside graveyards. They wander through empty streets, old bus stops, and abandoned apartments, with nowhere left to go. People call them the wandering dead. Around 1 in the morning, just before the rain begins, the air suddenly feels colder than usual. On certain streets, people sometimes hear someone calling their name. At first, it sounds like the wind, but the second time, they realize the voice belongs to someone they know. Come here. Over here. The voice is soft, almost a whisper, but somehow, it sounds unbelievably close. Some people instinctively turn around, and beneath the streetlight, they see a woman standing perfectly still. Long, wet hair covers her face, but when the rain starts falling, they finally notice she has no face at all. No eyes, no mouth, nothing. And yet, the voice keeps speaking. Come closer. Some people have followed her before. The next morning, they're found unconscious beside drainage ditches or lying near piles of roadside trash. But every one of them says the same thing. She knew my name. Around 2 in the morning, at fog-covered crossroads, a man sometimes appears wearing a long black coat. No one has ever seen his face clearly, because his head is always lowered. Whenever someone passes by, he asks the same question. Where does this road lead? His voice sounds distant, as if it's coming from underwater. Most people simply point him in a direction. Then slowly, he disappears into the fog. But after that night, those people begin getting lost, even on roads they've known for years. Some have stood right in front of their own homes, unable to recognize them. Others quietly whisper, I don't remember this place anymore. People believe the man is a spirit who died without ever finding his way home. And even now, he's still searching for a road that no longer exists. Around 3 in the morning, on old roads outside the city, people sometimes hear the sound of wooden wheels. Creak, creak. The sound grows closer little by little, but the road ahead always looks empty, until finally, through the fog, a black cart appears. It moves slowly, with no horses, no driver, and no one pulling it, and yet, it keeps moving. Some drivers have tried overtaking the cart, but when they glance into the rearview mirror, they see people walking silently behind it, barefoot, with completely white eyes. One driver later said, when I looked closer, I saw myself walking behind the cart. Sometime after 3, near riverbanks and roads with no streetlights, a figure carrying a small red lantern can sometimes be seen walking alone. The figure never speaks, never looks back, only walks slowly through the darkness. But those who see the lantern often feel an overwhelming urge to follow it. Some people later claimed, while following him, I felt strangely peaceful, as if all fear had disappeared. But when morning comes, those people are nowhere to be found. Only their shoes remain near the riverbank, waiting silently for someone who will never return. Around 2 in the morning, inside certain abandoned apartments, people sometimes notice someone standing at the window, completely motionless, just staring outside. The building is always empty, abandoned for years, and yet, the figure remains there night after night. Some people have zoomed in with their phones, trying to see the face clearly, and that's when they realize something is terribly wrong. The face has no eyes, no mouth, no features at all, but somehow it still looks like it's screaming. The worst part is, people who stare at the figure too long begin seeing him again later, inside their own windows. At first, he appears far away, barely visible, but each night, he gets closer. Around 2 in the morning, inside certain abandoned apartments, people sometimes notice someone standing at the window, completely motionless, just staring outside. The building is always empty, abandoned for years, and yet, the figure remains there night after night. Some people have zoomed in with their phones, trying to see the face clearly, and that's when they realize something is terribly wrong. The face has no eyes, no mouth, no features at all, but somehow, it still looks like it's screaming. The worst part is, people who stare at the figure too long begin seeing him again later, inside their own windows. At first, he appears far away, barely visible, but each night, he gets closer. After 1 in the morning, people living alone sometimes hear soft knocking at their door. Knock, knock. The sound is quiet, but strangely heavy in the silence. Some people look through the peephole and see someone standing outside, wearing a dark raincoat. The figure always keeps their head lowered. Their face can never be seen. Most people are too afraid to open the door, but those who do find nobody outside, only darkness and silence. But when they step back into the house, they begin noticing wet footprints leading deeper inside the hallway, as if something already entered before the door was opened. On rainy nights, an old yellow taxi sometimes appears on forgotten roads around the city. Inside, there's only a driver, silent, motionless. He never looks into the rearview mirror. Some people have entered the taxi, just trying to get home. At first, everything feels normal, but after a while, the taxi begins driving through unfamiliar streets, roads covered in fog, places without streetlights, and slowly, passengers begin feeling that someone else is sitting beside them in the back seat. Some claimed they saw a smiling figure inside the rearview mirror, staring directly at them. But when the taxi finally stops, the driver is gone. The passenger door is already open, and outside the taxi, there's nothing except fog. Some spirits never stay inside graveyards. They wander through empty roads, fog-covered intersections, and rain-soaked bus stops, still searching for something. Maybe they're searching for home, or maybe they don't even realize they're already dead. So if one night you hear someone whispering your name beneath a streetlight, don't turn around. And for tonight, let's stop here. But if one of these wandering ghosts still remains in your mind, leave its name down in the comments, and maybe in the next video, we'll uncover its story a little deeper, because some ghosts are far more terrifying than we think. Until next time, I'll see you again on another dark night.